guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Airam Maria and I'm back with another YouTube video. So for today's video guys, I'm gonna be talking about beauty by Airam. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So for all those who don't know, I'm about to start a makeup brand. If you follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, if you see my WhatsApp story, you know that I'm about to launch a brand and I'm so excited. So before I speak about it, let me just tell you guys about my journey with makeup. So guys, my makeup has not always been the best. Let me just tell you that my makeup used to look like my go-to look was eyeliner, and I used to use gel liner. So I used to use gel liner until like here, like you know, just where the eyelid ends, like right there, and then eyeliner at the bottom and mascara, and that was it. Brushing eyebrows, well, foundation, concealer, none of that. I used to use none of that. Like the only thing I used to use was eyeliner and mascara. And then eventually I started being gifted palettes. And guys, I used to look at these palettes like, what am I gonna do with these? Because I never used to use eyeshadow. I didn't even have a single eyeshadow brush. Like the eyeshadow brushes I used to use, like, you know, the ones when you buy like mascara, what am I saying? When you buy makeup palettes, and then they come with those little stick thingies that have like a sponge kind of thing on the side. That was the closest to a makeup brush that I had, and I could not do what am I saying? First of all, yeah, foundation, but I could not do eyeshadow to save my life. So I used to do eyeliner and mascara every time I used to leave the house to go movies and parties with my friends and everything. But or even out for that, like you know, when you just leave the house to go somewhere and you have to look nice because every other day of the week you're in school, so what are you pampering yourself for? Because I went to an all girls school, I don't know about you, so there's no pampering I'm doing, you get what I mean? So eventually I decided to start exploring with other types of makeup. So I started with eyeshadow, and guys, I used to use my finger. Before eventually I had brushes, I used to use my finger and pick the color that was closest to my skin tone. And I used to rub my finger, put it on my eyes, then put eyeliner, mascara, and gone. Like the only thing I added to my look was foundation, that means eyeshadow that you can't even see because it was so nude. And then eventually I started exploring. I'm like, oh, let me try pink, let me try gold, let me try. And then eventually I started doing all these different types of eyeshadow looks, and that's actually how I started getting better at makeup. And then one day I decided to try out foundation. I think foundation and concealer, contour was like the last thing I got into, because I never used to do any of that stuff. You would never find me with it. So eventually I started doing all these types of things to my face, and I just started getting better and better and better and better. And guys, look at her starting her own makeup brand. Like, who is she? And literally that's how everything just took off. Like I started doing makeup during my free time, like as a hobby type of thing. So when I'm bored and I'm just chilling in the house, I'm not going anywhere, I literally just try a new makeup look. Until today I still do that. When I'm bored in the house doing nothing else, I'm like, let me just try doing a new makeup look. You never know how it's gonna turn out. And most of the time, obviously, some come out trash, some will come out good. But see, if it comes out good, you gotta take photos. So that's what I do all the time. Like if I'm bored and I decide I'm just gonna sit down, listen to music, and just try a new makeup look. And that's basically how my makeup today is coming about, literally, because I just still do the same thing till date. So the idea behind the name Beauty by Airam is because the name Airam has become more of my identity than Maria. For all those who know, my real name is Maria, but I'm known more as Airam everywhere. Like I have friends who thought my real name was Airam before they even figured out my name is Maria. You get what I mean? And the reason why I chose Airam is because Airam is more my identity now, and there's limited Airams that you think about or that you know of. Because if someone asks you, do you know Maria? You'd be like, oh, Maria this, Maria this, Maria this, which Maria? You get what I mean? And if someone asks you, do you know Airam? There's a limited amount of Airams that you'd actually know. And that's why I went for that name, because if someone tells you, oh, do you know Airam? You think me, if not obviously someone else. And if someone tells you Beauty by Airam, you think of me. So that's why that's how I actually came up with the name Beauty by Airam instead of doing Beauty by Maria, or you know, any other name that I have, because I'm not going to speak about all of them, but all of them that I have. and that is basically how Beauty by Airam came about. So onto my palette. Now my first line of makeup is makeup palettes. That's what I decided to do because I didn't want to start with something very basic like eye pencil or something, and I didn't want to do something very risky like foundation. Yeah, so I decided to start with palettes because eyeshadow palettes. With eyeshadow palettes, you could do a variety of looks with them. Like you're not just gonna use them to do one basic thing like eye pencil, just drop, done, drop, done. Like for eyeshadow palettes, you could do all kinds of colors, all kinds of designs, all kinds of everything, because eyeshadow palettes is used a lot. Let me just say that, like besides foundation and all that, eyeshadow palettes is used a lot because there's so many different things you can do with eyeshadow. So that's why I came up with two palettes. No, one, two. So this one I came up with two palettes is because everyone has their own style of eyeshadow, their own style of doing makeup, and people like to do bright, colorful, all types of bright colors in their face, and they're the people who like to do eyeshadow but the most basic nude type of colors. Like not everyone likes to go with the heavy, not everyone likes to go with the light, and when the people who go with heavy sometimes like to go with light, and just few times people who do light makeup a lot decide to go for the extravaganza type of looks. You get what I mean? So that's why I decided to come up with two palettes. So I came up with a colorful palette and I came up with a nude palette. So I'm gonna show you guys how my palettes look. So this is exactly how my palettes look. Okay, this, and then there's this. Now the story behind my packaging is, this is my first line of makeup. Like this is the first line of Beauty by Airam, yeah? And I want it to be something that represented me because it's my brand and it being the first launch I'm doing. I wanted it to be something that just represents who I am. And the reason why I did these two different types of packaging is because, for those who know, my ethnicity is African and Asian, and that's why I came out with this palette that's African print and this palette that's Asian print. And one of these palettes is colorful, one of these palettes is a nude palette, and I'm just gonna show you guys right now. So when you get your colorful palette, this is a colorful palette, when you get your colorful palette, this is exactly how it's gonna look. And then it's gonna come in like a cardboard type of paper, so you're just gonna take it out like that. And the palette itself is printed just exactly the same way it is on the cardboard packaging itself. And then when you open it, it's gonna look like this. You have all these different types of colors, all these different types of bright colors. Some of these colors are shimmer as well, like the gold, the pink, the green, the blue. And then the other colors are just matte, colorful colors. And I picked, first of all, it took me like probably 4 full different types of color ideas until I settled with this. Because I redid this whole entire palette like 4 times before I settled on these specific colors. And that's why I came up with these colors. And I feel like it's because many people who do colorful looks, these are mainly the main colors that they'd go for in whatever kind of design of eyeshadow that they're doing. And this is why I had to make sure that the gold had to be there, guys. The gold had to be there. And then it has the mirror at the top, and the palette packaging is cardboard, not plastic. So when you close it, it's not gonna have the clicking thing, and also just like other plastic palettes, sometimes the cover thing at the back could break off, and we all know those struggles. So that's why I decided to do a cardboard type of packaging, and so the closing is magnetic, so it's just gonna close like that, so it doesn't stay open unless you like open it all the way, and the back is not gonna break unless you like bend it all the way. And then obviously when you're done using it, you can just put it back into the cardboard paper. And the reason why this cardboard papers come in handy is because scratches, guys. If this thing gets scratches, you'd rather have them on this paper than have them on the palette itself. And then at the back it has the ingredients, just in case there's some things that you don't use on your skin. All the ingredients are going to be at the back, just for you to make sure that whatever you use on your skin does not mess up your skin. And then we have the outer palette, which is the nude palette, and this is how the packaging is going to look. Of course, the logo at the front, and then it has the exact same cardboard paper just when you take it off. And then the printing on the palette itself is exactly the same. And then when you open this one, it has the nude colors, as you can see. Now this palette actually took me longer to settle on these colors more than the colorful palette did, because nude has so many variety of new colors. Some of them are not the best, some of them are the best, and also depending on your skin color will depend on how the color will blend in your skin. You get what I mean? So that's why we have these colors, and if you look at the bottom, I have the shimmer colors over there. So I just have, you know, the basic nude shimmer colors and matte colors that you would think of using, and then obviously the mirror at the top. And the packaging is exactly the same as the colorful packaging. It's the cardboard and it has the magnetic close just so that it doesn't break. And then when you put it into this paper, it's just gonna go the exact same way. Now for the swatches, I did not want to do them here and it to look messy, because yesterday I did them and they came out perfect and they looked so neat. So I'm going to insert the swatches just after this. Just so that you guys can see how the colors come in, whether the pigmentation is there or not, how the color looks. And also for this eyeshadow look that I did today, this pink, I actually used this palette. I'll show you guys the colors that I used. I used this pink and this. I used the shimmer pink just a little bit in my inner corners, but mainly for my eyes I used this pink. And yeah, so yeah, my first launch is gonna be palettes, and then later on, guys, I have many more things coming about. So for the launching date, I'm going to be launching them on the 3rd week of January, which is going to be on a Monday, the 11th of January. The reason I'm bringing that date is because, guys, the year starts on a Friday. So, and I wanted to launch in the 2nd week. So I'm going to be launching them on the 11th of January, which is a Monday. And I hope you guys stay tuned and copy you guys some palettes. Mark that date in your calendars, because that is when it's going to be dropping. For all those who are not following Beauty by Airam on Instagram, go ahead and check it out, because that's how I'm going to be posting every single thing. Everything to do with my line, my palettes, me, everything is going to be on that Instagram page. So if you haven't followed Beauty by Airam already, be sure to go follow it. I'm going to put everything in my description below. And yeah, I hope you guys go check it out. I hope you guys stay tuned to the many more things I have coming on the way. Stay tuned to the launching date of my palettes. I hope you guys support me through this journey, because it's gonna be a good, struggling, successful journey coming about. Do you get what I mean? Be sure to like, comment and share, and for all those who haven't subscribed, please do that. And guys, go copy some palettes on the 11th of January, and I'll see you guys in my next video.